Introducing the All-American 1077 semi-automatic rifle from CROSMAN. This thing is powered by a 12-gram CO2 power source system. Mechanism is a 12-shot repeater chambered in the 177 caliber. Ammunition is 177 lead pellet, 12-shot rotary mag, rifle steel barrel, adjustable rear sight front fiber optic, cross bolt safety switch, adjustable cheek piece, Picatinny mounting rail, removable 12-shot rotary magazine, adjustable rear sight, foregrip mounting rail, easy to access CO2 capsule, front fiber optic post, and a velocity up to 720 feet per second with alloy pellets. What's up, YouTubers and air gun enthusiasts? Welcome back to another quick unboxing here on ASR Airstream Rifles. If you haven't subscribed, I highly suggest you do. To all my subscribers, I want to appreciate you so much for your support. To all the newcomers, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, share the video. Feel free to leave some comments down below, and I couldn't thank you enough for that. So guys, here we have the CROSMAN 1077 TAC semi-automatic CO2 rifle. I'm very excited to unbox this thing today, honestly. It's such a beautiful day as well. So we have a pellet rifle from CROSMAN semi-auto, the 1077 TAC. It's a very similar version of the 1022 from Ruger, but this is CROSMAN's version. So guys, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what we have inside. All right, so go ahead and get the box cutter. Cut this bad boy open. All right, here we go. Guys, here we have the CROSMAN TAC, the 1077. CROSMAN's version of the Ruger 1022. Very awesome, very well-known platform. 90% of the rifle is all made out of plastic, even up to the magazine. The only thing that's probably not plastic is the rifle steel barrel that it comes with. Guys, just like any other review, let's go ahead and start from the bottom and work our way to the top with this awesome model. So starting off with the AR-15 style pistol grip, this is 180 degrees of texture. Not too over aggressive, very nice, very sleek, very comfortable. You also have a pinky rest there on the pistol grip as well. Now, one of the reasons why I only said 180 degrees, because you don't see any kind of texture on the back strap there on the M4 style grip. Now, to some of those individuals that like to modify, you cannot install any aftermarket M4 grips. All right, so we have here what seems to be some kind of a cap off. I really don't know 100% sure, but you cannot install any aftermarket M4 grips. Now I'm pulling it a little closer. Now the trigger seems to be metal, but it's definitely made out of plastic. Got some beautiful serrations as well on the trigger. Trigger guard is plastic, and the trigger is plastic. Now the crossbow safety switch is made out of plastic. Right now it is on fire, and this is a double action trigger. Not a single action, double action. Now, if we install the safety, it stops the trigger completely. Very nice, well thought out by CROSMAN. Back to fire. Double action. Moving on over to the 12-round drop-free magazine. You just squeeze on both sides of the magazine, and out comes what seems to be a 12-round traditional rotary fed magazine. I'm pretty sure that the 1077 freestyle in the original version, I'm pretty sure the rotaries are universal, so you can probably use them. Now in this model, to take out the rotary, I'm pretty sure just like every other model, this is my first 1077, guys. Out comes the rotary magazine. The magazine is made out of plastic, pretty much 90%. The only thing I don't see plastic is this prong there. Now, in order for your rotary magazine to fall into place, you got to make sure those gears are set really nicely set in there where they're, you know, the teeth are with the teeth, and then you should be able to set this back. See, they're not even set nicely. Now they are. So be careful with your magazine. Like I said, it is 90% plastic, so dropping this could cause failures, malfunctions, things in that nature. Very lightweight, by the way. Now, you can easily get confused by sticking in your magazine this way, which is, it won't go anyway, but turn it around with the tongue facing towards the trigger. And there she should fit in there. There we go. Like I said, 90 to 80% of this rifle is made out of plastic, polymer, whatever you want to call it. CROSMAN 1077 tack. I love it. It's really nice. So moving on to the foregrip, we have what seems to be an imitation M-LOK rail, which is pretty much what it is. You can't really use it because the CO2 housing tube is in the way. Now underneath the foregrip, we have a 5 to 6 slot Picatinny rail system for your flashlight, foregrips, things in that nature. Now what this seems to be is like a sling detachable mount, a quick detachable sling mount for like AR platforms. I really don't know if it works or it's just, you know, a dummy. I really don't know for sure. But they do have Picatinny sling mounts that you can accessorize on your rail there. Now this is the CO2 piercing housing. And this is the piercing cap. Stick one CO2 canister facing the nipple, facing towards the trigger. Make sure you use pellet gun oil. Don't worry guys, I will be showing you how to load this thing, CO2 and pellet wise. Make sure you have your threads really nice set in there, if not you have a little bit of trouble. Cap the CO2 off. Torque it as much as you can with your fingers. And then you have the piercer. You can use a quarter, dime, pennies, nickels to help you pierce that CO2 capsule. This is a rifle steel barrel. You cannot use BBs, only pellets. Now in the front, you have a fiber optic green sight, very visible, very nice. Now the fiber optic housing, which is the front blade, is made out of plastic. All of that is made out of plastic. The barrel is the only thing made out of steel. We do have windage and elevation. There's your windage. And then you have your elevation. Windage, elevation. Now these are two pieces of plastic bolted together. You have the 10 to 12 Picatinny rail mount on the top of your 1077 for, you know, scopes, red dots, things in that nature. It is too made out of plastic as well. Now moving on to the back, the cheek riser, the top of the cheek riser, the cheek piece, whatever you want to call it. It is made out of rubber. You loosen these bolts up and she comes loose just like that. You can, you know, adjust it up and down, whatever you want. And once you feel like that's your sweet spot, go ahead and tighten the screws up. The more you fiddle with it, the more loose it gets and the more easier it is to push up and down. Not that it's even hard right now at all. It's actually perfect. You have some holes here. These are to install maybe some sling mounts. Rig it up, in other words. You can rig it up. Zip ties or whatever, it doesn't really matter as long as it works. Now, you can install the sling mounts correctly. If you want to, you can get some aftermarket sling mount parts, and you can attach them to the butt stock there. We also have some rubber here on the butt pad. Very nice, CROSMAN symbol. Very nice, very beautiful. Very lightweight, very tactical. So, I know what you're probably looking at. This. You know all the functions. What is this? So this here, guys, is basically, if you have some kind of malfunction or a jam there, is to unjam it. All right, that's to unjam it. Very awesome feature. So one thing I learned, now when you have this thing on fire, obviously on safety it doesn't really matter. All right, make sure you have this set back. Okay, after you unclog your pellet, do everything, do what you need to do, clear it. After you're done with that, set this thing back. Okay, so right now you have a double action because you have a rotary magazine in there. Very nice. Got some beautiful texture there on that trigger. So it's a double action, right? If you have this set forward, it will feel funny in some kind of way. And then you're like, oh man, what's wrong with my rifle? Then you want to squeeze on it, and then who knows, man, you might mess something up. So make sure you learn the functions of the rifle. It's really important. I read the manual, so that's why I know that. So like I said, do what you got to do, clear it, make sure you set this back, and fire your double action trigger, put it on safety. Very nice crossbow safety switch there. It's in the right area too. Really nice. Look at it one more time. Very nice. Beautiful rubber there. Very nice. I'm really happy with this product, guys. I'm really happy. I haven't even shot this thing in, and I feel like this thing is going to be really accurate. So, guys, I'm going to end up piercing CO2. And I'm going to show you how to load this thing. So let me go ahead and grab the rest of the stuff and I'll be back. Before we get started, to all the newcomers that are just barely getting into the sport, make sure you use Pale Gun oil. All right, I've been using it for 4 years, and every single one of my CO2 pistols, revolver, rifles still work to this day. Even the pneumatic ones. 4 years is not enough for you. I don't know what to tell you, but every single one of my guns still work to this day. All right, so we have the CROSMAN CO2 canisters, and we have some Pale Gun oil. All right, and we have the drop-free 12-round magazine. Let's go ahead and load the magazine up. Now, we're going to be using two types of pellets. We're going to be using the Hypermax for the chronograph testing. That's right, we're going to be doing some chronograph, baby. Have the Hypermax 5.2 grain pellets. They're pointed. We're going to be getting velocity readings on that, and we're going to get the velocity readings on the dome pellets, which is 7.0 grains from CROSMAN. Let's go ahead and load this bad boy up. Now, make sure you load this correctly, all right? Now, the gear head, the gearbox should be facing the other way. You shouldn't be, don't load your pellets up this way, all right? Just to give you a good idea. Load them like this, with the gearbox facing forward, not facing you, facing the other way. Here we go. We're only going to load a few pellets. If your pellets are sticking out really massively too far, then they probably will not work. If your pellets are sticking way out of there, then the chances of the rotary spinning on you probably won't happen. She'll probably get jammed somewhere in there. So these pellets work just fine. You see them sticking out just a tad bit. That's not too much. Actually, that's just perfect. We're going to be using the alloy pellets to get a good velocity reading. So I just hope I end up shooting one my first try. All right, make sure they're seated in there very nice and correctly. I'm just gonna hope that's the right way. Stick that in there. Bam. Now we loaded the pellets. Time to do the CO2 capsule. Oh, let's go ahead and install the CO2. We're gonna see if we get any leaks or anything in that nature. More likely, I have faith that we're not gonna get any leaks. All right, if you want to put some more on there, that's fine. Get that whole top nice and lathered up. Where's the cap? Here it is. There we go. Now, nipple facing towards the trigger. That went in nice and smooth. Okay, now, important of safety. She was on fire earlier. Now we put it on safe to make sure that's nice set back. All right, guys, I showed you how to load this thing. Went over a few things. Now it's time to hit the chronograph test and see what kind of numbers we can pull. All right, guys, time for some chronograph testing. We have some alloy pellets at 5.2 grains from RWS pointed pellets, and we have some CROSMAN dome at 7.0 lead. 4 shots. Hopefully I set these right for the alloys to go first and then the lead, but we'll see. 720 feet per second was the box proclaiming. Muzzle velocity 683. More likely that's an alloy pellet. 631. 622. 572. More likely that's a lead. 577. 564. And 561. All right, guys, we're finally at the range, and I have the CROSMAN 1077 TAC in my hands. Very awesome rifle, CO2 pellet rifle that is. Look how beautiful and tactical this bad boy looks. So a total of 12 pellets in the magazine. We're going to be taking 6 shots at 15, another 6 shots at 25 steps, and then we're going to up the stakes. We're going to take another 6 shots at 50 steps. So let's see what kind of accuracy this thing has. We're at 15 steps, 6 shots. All right, that's 6 shots. Let's move to 25 steps. Take another 6. All right, here we go, another 6. All right, since it's only 12 shots, let me go ahead and reload. We'll be right back, and then we're gonna step at the 50 step mark. We're finally at 50 steps. I have a 12 round magazine instead of a 6 round. We're gonna go ahead and see what 12 rounds can do at 50 steps. Kind of excited as well.
All right, I don't know if you can see the target, but it's, I'm sorry, right there. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can even get on paper. Sound like I still have more. All right, last shot. I don't even know if I hit the target or not. Let's go look at the target. All right, guys, we got the CROSMAN TAC 1077, and we also have some results. What do you think of the accuracy at 15 steps, 6 shots? We moved back to 35 steps, another 6 shots, and we upped the stakes by moving up to 50 steps. And let's just say we were just about everywhere. So at 50 steps, I still have potential in this rifle. Straight out of the box, this is the performance we get with no adjustments. What do you think about it? What do you like? What do you dislike about it? Well, guys, we still have more to come, more to cover. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, if you're a subscriber, you already know what time it is. Time to test out that trigger. We have the trigger gauge. This measures the force it takes to pull the trigger. Who uses it? Competitor shooters, bench rest shooters, and just regular old Joes that want a really good trigger. This is straight out of the box. Nothing has been done to the trigger. So let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. 6.4 on the first. 7.0 on the second. 5.2. Let's do one more. And a 5.0. Well, guys, I would say it's around a 6 pound to 6.5 pound trigger. All right, time to step this thing up on the scale, see how much she weighs. We have no ammunition, no CO2. Straight out of the box, good idea on what she weighs. All right, 3 pounds, 11 ounces. Not bad. All right, just like every other video, let's go ahead and measure the dimensions of the barrel and the overall length of the product. So the barrel is around 17.5 inches, maybe 17.75. And the overall length is 36 inches. That's a total of 3 feet. The CO2 puncture, very nice. Very nicely punctured. Check that out, really nice. Now for the chronograph test, we've tested both of these pellets. We've tested the Hypermax 5.2, and we got somewhere 680 feet per second off the Hyper pointed max pellets. And we got over 500 feet per second with the dome pellets, lead pellets, 7.0 grains. I found this extra rotary magazine. Now, it wasn't in the packaging. I just ended up putting it in there so I won't lose it. But it was underneath the styrofoam. All right, guys, so make sure you go through your package real thoroughly. Make sure you read your manual thoroughly. All right, make sure of all these things before you toss that box away. Well, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next session. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the pros and the cons of this awesome product. The pros that I really like the most: it is very cheap to shoot, 1 cylinder, 12 pellets. It's not so expensive.
Now, another pro that I really like the most, the tactical look. A lot of air guns offer tactical, but really are not tactical. This one has the rails, even has rubber on the cheek riser and even on the butt pad. Now, another pro that I really like as well, fiber optic sights and adjustable sights as well. You can't get no better than that. You can adjust it. Some rifles, you can't really adjust them. This is one of those that you can actually adjust, and if you're not comfortable, you're not happy with it, then you can install a red dot or a scope. Now, another pro that actually comes with the product is the rifle steel barrel. If you're out there wondering what kind of pellet can be the most accurate pellet, with the rifling will give you the assistance to find that awesome, sweet, correct pellet. Another awesome pro, the magazine. Now, I'm not going to say that you can use the magazine from the freestyle, the magazine from the first generation model. I'm not saying any of those things. What I am saying is probably the rotary clips are probably universal. So you can probably use those other rotary clips on the 1077 TAC from CROSMAN. So that's probably, please correct me if I'm wrong. Put that in the comments below. All right, this is my first 1077, my first experience. Now, another awesome pro, 680 feet per second with alloy. Of course, we also got around 500 and something feet per second with lead pellets, but that gives you an idea of what lead and alloys can do out of this awesome carbine. This is probably the last pro, but one of the best pros for last. Now, this thing actually unjams pellets. That is a well idea from CROSMAN. I never would have thought that they would actually come up with an idea like this. And I think we should see this a little bit more in models that actually do not take apart, field strip, things in that nature. CROSMAN really thought it out with this. Now, the way I believe that it works, I haven't had a jam or a malfunction so far. But if you do, all right, I imagine this is how it works. So you obviously unjam the pellet, drop the magazine, and it should fall out, all right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't had a malfunction yet, so guys, give me a break. But it's an awesome feature to have. And another thing that I really like the most, you see how that pellet clip just slides right, that magazine, how lovely that thing slides right in there. And another thing that I really like the most as well is how that trigger glides. Now, it doesn't sway back and forth like traditional triggers really do. This one just kind of glides back, straight back. Very nice. What do you think about it? Put that in the comments below. We still have the cons to come. I can't stop doing that. Well, guys, let's talk about the cons of this awesome product. Now, one of the cons, honestly, is more of a gun gripe, but one of the cons that I feel like they should have done was make the combo for the BB and pellet. So if you want to, as a shooter or as a airgun owner, you have the option to choose pellet or BB, or get the one with the BB and pellet version, which would be the BB version. If you can give us those options, that'll be really awesome. Like I said, you can either go with the pellet or the BB pellet version. Another con that I feel like they should have emphasized a little bit better on this model is those certain areas, like the pistol grip, maybe the stock somewhere that would have made a little bit of some compartments there to hold the clips, to hold the pellets, things in that nature. When you're having an extra rotary in your pocket, I mean, the chances of you digging it out and you have other objects in your pockets, the highest chance of it falling out, obviously they're very cheap, very affordable, and I like the idea you can interchange them. That's really awesome. That's pretty cool. But, you know, please make a compartment for it. Put it in the magazine. You have a lot more space in the mag. Put it somewhere where we can actually use it. I read the manual. I didn't see any compartments that it had for you to store that extra rotary. Now, another con that I feel like CROSMAN could evaluate a little bit better, since they have the first generation, the second generation, and now this generation model, they could evaluate a little bit more on the air valve. The CO2 only lasted me around 3 magazines to 4 magazines. And I honestly, I think CROSMAN did that intentionally to get the full performance that you can get out of the CROSMAN tack. Now, this is just factory. This is not you adjusting anything or, you know, modifying it. And speaking of modifying, most of you probably want to know, hey man, can I adjust that trigger? Obviously from the way it looks, you cannot adjust it. Now, I'm not saying you can't modify it now. This is a very different trigger. This is not one of those triggers that has that, you know, this is a straight sliding back trigger. Just get one and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying you cannot modify it, guys. I'm pretty sure you can modify it. There's some pretty smart dudes out there, and I'm pretty sure you can do it just about everything. So just letting you know that you cannot adjust that trigger. So, all right, guys, I think this is probably the final con, and I'm gonna put everything all in one. What do I mean by that? This kind of just goes out to the companies, honestly. If you're going to make something tactical, make sure everything is useful, like the M-LOK rails. If you can make the choice for me to take this off and put it back on, that'll be awesome. If not, make it foldable. It makes it more compact. Be able to stick it in backpacks and stuff and take it with you. It'll be an awesome thing to have. Make compartments that actually work. You know, somewhere I can put that rotary magazine, somewhere I can put some spare batteries, pellets, pellet compartment. These things would actually be awesome. And one more thing, please hear me out, guys. If y'all could make an upper that can come off and install in different stocks, that would be like one of the most #1 selling air guns on the market, because you can just do so much with it. And that's what we like. As far as the air gun industry, you can have the option to keep it just traditional, or you have the option to deck it out as much as you want. More component parts obviously will be sold, and you just have the ability to make that air gun a lot more popular and for it to be around for quite some time. To give you a good idea who actually did that, and Ruger with the 1022, the actual firearm, okay, the actual 22 LR, you can actually interchange the stocks. You can make that rifle look like a complete different rifle from the traditional rifle. And you have the option to do it whichever way you want. Kind of like an AR-15, kind of like the pistol grip. I kind of wish that they would have made it to the point where I can interchange comfortable grips, bigger grips, smaller grips, whatever. But the grip they have on there is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for the price. It's really fine, really fun. Well, guys, what do you like about the pros and the cons? Excuse the echo in the background. I'm getting myself adjusted here, but give me some time, things will be better. So, guys, what do you think about the rifle? All right, this thing costs around $139. You can find this at Academy. I don't know right now, but you can probably try to look for it on other sites. And by the time this video goes out, with some time, you can probably be able to find these just about everywhere. Well, guys, like I said, write it in the comments below. What do you like? What do you dislike about the model, the 1077 CROSMAN TAC? I think it's an awesome model to have, especially here for the airgun community, here on Airstream Rifles. I really like the tactical stuff. And don't forget, hey, please, I do not knock the traditional rifle, guys. I'm not knocking you guys. I actually love traditional rifles as well. Well, guys, like I said, what do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? Please leave that in the comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. It's really important for the algorithm. And God bless each and every one of you. Long live the Republic. Until next time on Airstream.